The Death of Misalignment, Funeral and Incineration. I literally started this live at 11:11, which is, I just got chills, which is one of my favorite numbers. And I'm so excited to have this conversation with you because I think that this is a necessary conversation that we need to have. We are literally stepping into a new vortex. We are literally releasing everything that no longer served us. And this is like, if if you've been in my world long enough, when it comes to embodiment, it doesn't have to take weeks, months, years. That is such a BS misconception. It can literally happen in an instant. It can literally happen with a single decision that where you are playing now is no longer where you are going to play moving forward. So what am I talking about? You may have seen in my stories. If you're not watching my stories, I don't even know what you're doing. Go hang out with me in my stories. But we are doing the Death to My 30s, and I'm bringing you along for the ride. Every year, I love to do something fun for my birthday. Like, we don't just have a birthday, we have like a birth week. And I ain't even playing. But what more importantly, what I want to share with you is the death of the 30s and what it is that I'm experiencing. And I want to share this in a perspective to give you tangible takeaways so that when you walk away from listening to me, that you can have something that you implement right away. That's my intention for you. And we are entering my 40s era. We are entering our cougar era. So just like total side note, my husband is 6 weeks younger than me. Like, look, I'm born May 24th. He's born July 4th. Yes, he's a firecracker baby. And I'm like, it's not that deep. Like, it's like we're both born in the same year. I'm not that much older than you. And he has tried to call me cougar our entire relationship. We got together in 2003. We met in 2001. And we've been married since 2006. So do the math. I don't even know what that is off the top of my head. We've been married for 18 and a half years. So we've been together for 22 years or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Almost a quarter of a century, which is cray. Anyway, so starting tomorrow, May 24th, at the time that I'm chatting with you, I said we're entering Cougar Town. You can officially call me your cougar, and I'm totally good with it, right? Okay, so when I was sitting down, like this morning, I was sitting, drinking my coffee, and over the past couple of days, I've been really thinking deeply about this and like what it is that I want to share with you about how it is that we're moving forward and what it is that we're no longer playing in the realm of, and what this looks like. And also the embodiment piece, because you guys know I talk about embodiment all the time inside of every container we're in, down to, yes, even Quantum Illumination Reiki certification program, which PS doors are open. Like, DM me Quantum if you're not in there. You need to be in there. But like, even in our certification program, this is not just a certification where you're learning a bunch of keys and frequencies and it's like, peace out. It's like, no, we are diving to the depths together. This is about coming out on the other side, not just certified as a healer, master healer, or teacher in quantum illumination, but also in the embodiment of quantum illumination itself being one with the frequencies that you are evolving into, that you are sending into, and also stepping into the essence of who it is that you are here to be, what it is that you are here to do, and really coming home to who it is you are, which we are taking up even further in our embody retreat. So we only have 2 spots on that. So just DM me retreat and I'll send the information to you. But I have my notes pulled up here because you know how I roll, Gemini vibes. I can literally like talk to you about this forever, but I want to stay on track to give you these really potent, tangible steps and things to like really reflect on. So I remember when I turned 30, I remember, well, first of all, my husband, okay, I have to tell you this story about my 30th birthday. But I remember before I turned 30, and at the time we were stationed in Arizona, and some of Matt's family lives in Tucson. We lived in Buckeye, which is just outside of the Phoenix area. And I remember talking to his cousins, who is one of my favorite humans. And she's a little bit older than us. And I was like, what's your favorite part about being in your 30s? And what is it that you you wish you would have known going into your 30s? And I love asking this question to anybody that's like older, because it really gives a different perspective. But I like to ask this from now, I like to ask it. I'm intentional about who I ask, because not everybody's experience is the same, especially as we're getting older. It's like, I'm snap, crackling, and popping at 30. And though that is some people's reality, that's not mine. I feel so amazing. I don't feel like whatever image that we had at 40. Like, did you know the Golden Girls were like in their like mid-ish 40s? I don't remember the exact ages, but it was like mid-ish 40s to like early 50s. And we thought that was old. What? It's insane. And so I'm like, no, we are not claiming that. We are aging backwards, but we're gaining the wisdom. And I love this. And so a couple things that I remember her saying was that you really stop giving a shit about what people think when you're in your 30s. And also she wished she would have created a consistent skincare routine. And though that didn't land, and honestly, where that really landed, do you guys remember when J-Lo and Shakira were on the Super Bowl halftime? I don't remember what year that was, but I think that was the year that J-Lo was 50. And I was like, holy shit. And now I know she says she doesn't get Botox. Whether she does or not is none of my business. I really don't care. And she probably has a really great, really great genes. I'm like, what's the word? Genes. However, girlfriend takes care of herself. And so I was like, damn, I want to look like that when I'm 50. So I'm like, consistent workout, consistently drinking water daily, managing stress, skincare routine, though that's important, and what I put on my skin is important. It's less about that. It's more about what I consume and what I consume. And so yeah, those were some of the things that she had said about 30s. And so I've been thinking about like what I've really gained in 30s and what's not coming with me to our next era. And I want to invite you to think about this as you step into this era as well. Whether you're turning 40 or not is irrelevant. It's what it is, how this resonates in your life now. And so before I go into that, let me just share with you what my husband did for my 30th birthday. Tomorrow, we're actually going to the beach, which is what I want. I wanted to go to Bali, but I said this year I was traveling, and we went to Tulum in January for an amazing retreat that I had with my mentor. I'm going to Tulum in July. We just got back from Iowa, spending time with family, and I have something epic planned that we'll be announcing next, I think in the next couple of weeks. That's happening later on this year. So we'll be traveling in 2025 for my 40s, like I said I wanted to. And we're still going to the beach, which is amazing. And I'm so excited for that. But for my 30th birthday, I wanted it all out. Like, I had finally graduated with my bachelor's in marketing with honors. And that feels like a whole nother lifetime. I'm not the same person. I changed from like almost day to day as an evolution of who I am. Like, we're not playing, we don't play small. And it's like, feels like a different, like, it doesn't even feel like it was this lifetime. So P.S., I have a degree in marketing with social media marketing emphasis. I graduated with honors in 2015. It took me over 10 years to get my bachelor's degree, because this makes me sound like a dinosaur, but like that was when online university or online colleges was fairly new. And so finding a university that was tailored to my needs as a military spouse and us moving around, but also to what it is that I wanted. Like, I didn't want communications. I didn't want, oh, what was it? I can't even remember what it calls. I originally wanted to go for journalism, and I actually broadcast journalism. That was what I was thinking. I originally wanted to go for journalism and like broadcast journalism, and I decided that was actually not it. That's a whole nother story for another day. But I ended up finding like advertising. I got a bunch of credits in advertising, and then I finally found a school that did marketing. So I finally graduated with my bachelor's in marketing with honors, and I turned 30 right around that same time. And Matt had planned a trip to Big Bear, I think it's Big Bear Lake in California, but I didn't know it. He planned it with my boss at the time, which, by the way, that was the last full-time job I had ever had. I quit my full-time job on my 1-year anniversary of being in full-time entrepreneurship or part-time, whatever, while I was working full-time as well. I matched my income minus daycare and vehicle expenses, and I walked away. And so anyway, my husband planned this vacation alongside of my boss. He had already started packing for me, but I didn't know it. He planned with one of our friends to take the kids for the long weekend and already had the cabin booked and some things planned. And that morning, he did go to work for a little bit, but he hid I think he actually took my keys. And my kids were so little. I mean, this was in 2015. So Colin was not quite 3. He was like almost 3. And Austin was, I don't know, like 7 or something. And so I'm not great at math. On the other side of the spectrum. And the kids and I were like dumping the house trying to find my keys. I'm not one that leaves my keys in random places. I don't do the disorganization thing. And so I could not find him. And I remember going into our spare bedroom thinking, that's weird. Why is there a bag there with some of my stuff? I'm like, whatever. And I went to go look for my keys, and my husband came home, and I was like crying. And I had already called my boss, and she obviously knew. And Matt comes in the door, and he's like, here's your keys. And I was like, oh my God, what do you mean you've had my keys? What is going on? He's like, pack your bags. We're going to California for the weekend for your birthday. For your 30th birthday, and we had the most amazing weekend. The kids were so well taken care of. The pets were taken care of. Like, everything was good, and it was amazing. So that's what he did for my 30th birthday. So yes. Okay. Because I said I would share that with you. Let's dive into the death of the 30s, this funeral and incineration, and what it is that I'm experiencing and how you can apply this to your life now. And I want you to let me know how this resonates, whether you are watching live, watching the replay, or listening on Sacred Whisper podcast. I want you to comment and tell me, or come into my DMs and tell me like what resonates, how this lands for you. And also I really want you to think about how you're going to implement this into your life. My husband's cousin, I call her my cousin, but my husband's cousin, when she told me that about our 30s, that's exactly what happened. Like you do stop giving a shit about what people think about you. And that is so true. And I think that comes though in twofold. I think that one is it's like maturing, like whatever that is. Yeah. And also I think that it comes with healing because, I witnessed a lot in the past couple of weeks of people who have just stayed where they are, and because they've stayed where they are, there's no growth that happens. And so, it can say like the actions that what they're saying is one thing, but the actions are showing differently. And it's like, are your actions matching what you're actually saying? Do you actually care what people think of you? Or is there something at a body level, at a mind level, at a spirit level that you're like, actually, I do care? And it's okay either way. Like, there's no judgment. It's just awareness. And I've said this from the beginning of time. Like, awareness is literally the biggest and best gift that you can give to yourself. And I was actually listening to a podcast or something the other day, and Brendan Burchard said the same thing. He said it differently, but he's like, I've been talking about awareness all along. And I was like nodding my head, like I'm standing in front of him, like, yep, yeah, I totally agree with that. I couldn't agree more. Because when you give yourself awareness, it's not so you can judge, but when you're aware of something, until you're aware of it, you can't do anything about it. So one of my favorite quotes of all time is, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. One of my favorite quotes of all time. Okay. So here's what I'm experiencing going into my 40s era, hair flip, entering our cougar era, is the first one is giving less crap about what people think about who I am and what I do. And if you're watching me live or replay, I'm just looking down at my notes because you know how I roll. Giving less crap about what people think about who I am and what I do. I literally don't care. I don't. Like, if someone, and look, you guys probably know by now, you've heard me say I was in a modern day witch hunt for 18 months. My compassion level is high, and my I don't give a fuck about what someone thinks about me is very low. I don't care, because what somebody thinks about me is none of my business, and I send them love and compassion, and I wish them well on their way. But it has nothing to do with me and my integrity and my mission and my purpose and my passion and how I choose to live my life, how I choose to give, how I choose to serve, how I choose to show up in the world. And that is anchored in my truth. That is anchored into who I am. And when we are in a space of caring about what people think about who we are or who you are, and I'll add on to that about what you do as well, but about who you are. Well, let me say this first. There's no freaking way I would be where I am today if I cared about what people said about me. The things that were written about me, the reviews that were said, the harassment, the bullying, and not just a modern day witch hunt, but just in general, right? And so when people, like, even I still get hate comments and stuff like that. YouTube is wild ride, you guys. I don't really experience it on Instagram, sometimes TikTok, but very rarely. But YouTube is a wild ride, yo. And so it's like, whatever. I'm like, I send you love and I block and delete. Like, I just don't care. And so I would not be where I am today if I cared about what people thought about me and what I did. And you would not be where you are today if you cared too, in the sense of like other people's opinions about what you should do and how you should live your life. Right? And so, like, quantum illumination Reiki would not be here. It would not be here if I let myself go into a cave and just say, I quit. This is it. I'm like, no. I cared a lot about what other people had to say, and I did the healing around it so that I could get to where I was going, because I knew there was a vision, purpose, passion, and mission. And I was like, we're going. The end. Let me have a funeral call for the version of me that got me to where I was, but she couldn't come with me. That version of me couldn't come with me. I love her. I'm grateful for her. And she couldn't come with me because where I'm going where I'm going cannot have so much looking around. I'm like trying to put into words the visual I'm showing. It's almost like she's darting around. It's like the words I'm hearing. It's like she's darting around looking to see if she's validated, if there's an approval rating, if what she's doing is okay. And it's like, I love you. but we release you. Selena, so glad you didn't care and still don't. Sharing your gifts is a gift for so many. Aw, thank you. And I feel that way about you too. Like the more you come into your power, Selena, I was like rereading what you said yesterday as the chat saved from our final call with Quantum Illumination for level 1. And I was like, it's so amazing to see how far everyone has come. And so where is it that you are caring what people think about you? And how can you meet yourself? First, I want you to meet yourself with compassion and grace. Compassion and grace. And where is it that you care about what people think about what you do? And meet that with compassion and grace, that version of you. You're here. You already likely know that if you're in my world, you know where you're going. And if you don't know, like, hang on for the ride because the clarity will come. Like literally within the first one call one, we didn't even tap into the frequencies of quantum illumination Reiki yet. And pretty much everyone was like, and this is coming through, and this is coming through, and this is coming through. And I'm writing my 4th book of the series. And like, I'm publishing a book, or I'm like writing a new book, or they're clear on their like business, and ideas are flying through, and jobs are like misaligned. And like there's just so much that happened and so much clarity that came. And even during Mercury retrograde was when our first call was. And yes, the only way we go is up. Ascension is it's inevitable. Ascension is inevitable. And so you know where you're going. We've shown compassion and grace to who it is that got you to where you are. And now it's time to cut the cord. And this is not one of those things where it's like, let me take weeks, months, days and days and days and years to get to there. This is a decision. And with quantum illumination, because the frequencies are so high, it's inevitable that it's going to happen really quick. But it's like, yeah, cut the cord, shine down. We love shine down. So it's cutting the cord. It's making a decision. I love you. Thank you for getting me where you are. What is it that can't come with me? And deciding. And it's deciding every single day. I don't wake up like a psychopath running around my house with so much energy. Some days I actually do, but most of the time I don't. I'm not saying I wake up with like negative thoughts in my head, but sometimes I do. And so it's like deciding each day and locking it in. If you guys have heard my podcast episode where I talk about locking it in, lock it in, lock it in. What gets you into that state of, I don't give a crap about what other people think about who I am and what it is that I'm here to do. I know where I'm going, so let's go. And let's go. And sometimes let's go means just a decision. The other day I had something drop in. I don't even know what I was doing. I think I was driving from somewhere. Oh, I was dropping Colin off for school the day we got back. I took him to school so the kids could sleep in. We didn't go to bed until like 2 a.m. And so they had a half day that day. And I was dropping in and nothing was going on. The music was kind of quiet. And I was like, you know what? And something just dropped in so clearly. And I was like, yeah, this is it. And it wasn't me running around being all crazy. It was a deep embodiment experience in that moment that I was like, here it is. And this is where we are going. And it's this or nothing. That's it. Okay, the second thing for the death of 30s, and you guys let me know how this is resonating. I'm just going to take a drink. Michelle says, I know that one of my testimonials already said she would want to learn when I finish level 3. Ooh, girl. I am not surprised. And also, I am so excited. I am so excited. I would have my desk up and standing, but your girl got a new tattoo on my foot. And so we're like preventing the swelling situation where tomorrow was a week ago that I got it. So we're getting there. And then my other foot, I walked barefoot, but was shoeless. I walked with socks through the airport on whatever day that was, Tuesday or whatever. And the bottom of my other foot is like, it almost feels bruised. So we're just going to dance in the chair. So yes, so amazing. Okay. The second thing when it comes to this funeral and incineration is boundaries on lock and no more people pleasing. When we're going into our 40s era, but truly like when it comes to the death of the 30s, like boundaries, I am ruthless about. If it's a no, it is a no. Period. I won't do something out of obligation. There are some things, like in the same breath, there are some things that we as human beings have to do. Like sometimes being human, just like there are things that we just have to do. And it's a decision to do it in a high vibe way, or a way that brings you more joy because you have to do it, right? But I won't tolerate, like if you guys saw my reel yesterday, for those of you in quantum illumination in round 1 and watching the replay, Lori talked about this. This was something she had said. And it was like, just know we don't tolerate BS. And so boundaries on lock, and people pleasing is a nope. So when it comes to boundaries, where are you letting people overstep your boundaries? This is a huge one. For those of you that have been through the Rising Phoenix, boundaries and people pleasing are a huge one that we clear and release. And it's not that sometimes it doesn't happen that they get overstepped, right? It does happen, but we're quicker to shift. We're quicker to be aware. We're not allowing all of that to constantly be a constant in our lives, rather. So where is it that you are allowing people to cross your boundaries, and why? Meeting that version of you with love and compassion, what is your boundary, and deciding. And it will likely piss some people off. Don't care. Because that's none of your business. And of course you're not like, I'm just not going to do that because that's crossing my boundary. It's like, it's just a no. It can be said with love. It can be met with love and compassion, right? And it might make some people mad, but that's for them to work out. That's not for you to work out. And where is it that you're people pleasing, and why? Most of you guys know why. I feel like we've beat the same drum over and over again. You already know why. You already know where it's coming from. And this is where quantum illumination Reiki comes in as well, because it's like, we already know why. We already know where this is coming from. Like, let's ascend. Like, we be going up to the 11th chakra, right? And so catching yourself, and again, a decision. And also giving yourself permission, like if you said yes to something and you realize that was actually obligation energy, or that was actually, a yes in that moment, but it's actually feeling like a no. It's giving yourself permission to just reach out and be like, actually, I said yes to something, but it was supposed to be a no. And I'm really working on my own boundaries and staying in alignment, however you want to word that. And so thank you, but no thank you, right? And yeah, and you'll know if it's between, I love this, I need to work on telling the difference between people pleasing and doing it from my heart. Like, you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your heart. Like, one feels like obligation energy, and one feels like, I want to do this. I really want to do this. Like, you'll feel it. There's a palpable difference. And it's a visceral. I remember Lori using the word visceral. She's like, I viscerally feel it in the body. And yeah. And it's just saying no when it's misaligned. And okay, I love this final one. I have 2 more, and then the final one just made me giggle. Okay, the next one is own it energy. Some of you guys, every single one of you guys are doing the coolest shit. The gifts and abilities you have, whether you are using it in an actual business sense, or you are also or using it within your corporate job or 9 to 5, whoa, the difference that you make. And I just have chills. You guys, if you don't see this for you, see me seeing it for you. Put yourself in my lens and see you from my lens. You guys are unicorns. It blows my mind hearing some of your abilities, the things that are coming through for you, the ascension you're having, the soul codes that are dropping in. And in the same breath, I'm like, duh, of course, because you were here to do this. You literally incarnated in this lifetime. You're like, push the button, like School of Hard Knocks, let's go to planet Earth, woohoo! And then you slid into the physical body, and it's like remembering. You are remembering, and it's amazing. You need to own it more. And I like to say this as well. I'm a Gemini Sun, Aries rising, manifesting generator in human design. You guys, I don't expect you to have the own it energy like I do. I would be very surprised if you did, because that's a combination. Some of you, I know, Selena, we talk about this a lot, but also there's a lot of you that are calm confidence. And also, I love to be in the grounded confidence too. It's just a knowing. It's not like walking around like a snob or whatever. It's just that I know who I am. I'm grounded in my truth. I am anchored in. I am locked in. Like, you know what you are doing is making a difference. There's too much proof that's been stacked in your favor at this point. There's too much proof that has been stacked in your favor at this point. There was something I had said to my mentor yesterday on a call, and she mirrored that something similar back to me. And I was like, oh, you're right. There's too much proof. This was like totally something else, but I'm experiencing this too, but in something totally different. And so there's too much proof. And so stepping into this knowingness. So for me, this is, I know what I'm doing is changing the world. And I can see so clearly where it's going. This makes me so emotional. It's not even about what's happening now, but it's what is happening now is changing everything. Someone asked me the first time that I launched Quantum Illumination Reiki, yes, things will pop off 100%. For me, for you guys, for us together, because this is not a me, this is not a you, this is an us together. We do this together. It's always together. We are stronger together. And so I remember the first time when I launched Quantum Illumination Reiki for our founders round, somebody had asked, what's the historical significance of quantum illumination? And I was like, yo, it's now. We are literally creating history right now. I have podcast episodes, which I could probably actually create a new one on, like an updated one, sharing like the background and the historical, like the history, so to speak, of it. And June is 4 years, but I'm like, we're making history right now. Are you in or are you in? And so it's amazing because every history started with the here and now. Like, there's so Walt Disney, I don't know what he was thinking about then, but like, I know he had a vision, and it started with the first step, right? Michael Jordan knew, like, he didn't even make his high school basketball team. Like, Oprah Winfrey was told that she would never make it on TV. Are you fucking kidding me? What do you mean you can't get your gifts out into the world? What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to own it? Because there's no proof. There's no proof for anyone, but up here there is. In here there is. At a soul level there is. And so owning it more. I like to imagine, well, now I'm in my own shoes. But before, what I would do, and sometimes this is still really useful for me, maybe you'll find this useful for you, and I know some of you have heard this before, where it's like stepping into the energy and essence of someone else who has come before you, like anchoring into their energy, or it's like stepping into like a stage presence, right? So for me, you guys probably know this, but my favorite band of all time, I'm a music junkie, but my favorite band of all time is Shinedown. And if you guys, even if you're not into rock music, go listen to some of Shinedown's, like watch their videos, specifically if you can find some where they're performing on stage. Brent Smith is the lead singer, and holy crap, I will never forget when we saw them. I mean, every time we've seen them, but when we saw them in 2021 at the Buffalo Chip at the Sturgis Rally in Sturgis, South Dakota. And I just, oh God, I got chills thinking about this. Watched him. And then I turned and watched the crowd. He commands the stage. It's like he knows he's the shit. Now, does he have limiting beliefs? I'm sure he does. I saw a video that said he was talking to the camera as he was getting ready to go out on stage, and he's like, I'm scared. And I'm like, bro has been going on stage. I don't know. The first time that we saw them was in 2004 or 2000. I think it was 2005. If you don't like rock music yet, you will after listening to Shinedown. 1000% yes. 1 bajillion% yes. Like, rock is so underrated. It really is. But Shinedown, and their messages are so amazing. Like, Shinedown has really beautiful messages in their music. But who is it that you really love to see perform on stage? And maybe it's not music, maybe it's an actor, an actress, or whatever. And stepping into that essence and that kind of energy, its own energy, its main character energy. You are the author of your story. I know you've heard that before, but truly you are writing your story, and you might not know what comes next, but as you continue to write, it's kind of like when you're journaling for clarity, right? And you're just writing things out, and then all of a sudden you have this aha moment. You're like, oh, duh. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, that landed. Or when you're having a conversation with someone and something just lands and you're like, oh yeah, same thing. The journey is going to unfold. Everything will unfold. How can you be in the energy now? Because I will tell you this because I know from experience, it doesn't matter what level, like success, like whatever success is for you, it doesn't matter if you reach that, or if you think that feeling how it is that you desire to feel when you reach a level of success will bring you that feeling. I'm telling you from experience, it will fucking not. It won't. But if you enjoy the journey, even if it's hard, if you enjoy the journey and feel how you desire to feel now, this is why I talk about this so much, because I have lived this, the destination will feel just as amazing, because it's not about achieving what it is that you desire to achieve, that I want that for you and I know you'll have it. It's about the feeling that you really want. And you get to feel that now. There is no difference. So where is it that you are not in own it energy? Where is it that you are questioning what you're doing and how it's changing the world? And where is it that you don't have a vision of where it is that you're going? And the vision can change. Like, and you might not have a plan for it yet. I usually only plan for like a month at a time, because I've tried to plan like 3 to 6 months at a time, and that just like, I changed my mind and I'm like, actually that's misaligned. And then I'm spending time planning out something that's not really working for me, but I know that works really well for some people. Total Manny Jen. That's a Manny Jen thing. So, and then get clear, step into the own it energy. Okay. Next thing, second to last thing, is identity shifts. I'm actually reading a book by Anthony Trucks, who is an amazing speaker. He's a previous NFL athlete, and it's called Identity Shift. And I'm only the second chapter into it. I didn't pick it up while I was at home in Iowa last week. The first chapter sucked me in, or like the pre-first chapter, whatever. But this chapter, the first chapter made me tear up, and I was like, whoa. So I'm really excited about this book. It's called Identity Shift by Anthony Trucks. Okay. So for me, this looks like leaving old patterns behind as I fully embody and anchor deep into my soul's truth. I swear to you, multiple times a week, I'm having an identity shift. Not a shift, but an up level. I'm noticing patterns or, I'm the psychopath in mentorship. I've been with my mentor for 2 years. So for those of you that like to blow it up inside of mentorship, that's me too. I am like up there. I am not playing games when it comes to mindset, when it comes to energetics, when it comes to like strategy and debunking or seeing things differently or anything like that. I love that. I geek out on that. And I think that is a really useful piece in growth is having someone to bounce things off of, right? And so for me, it's like disrupting patterns. I'm like, clock it. I'm like, I'm clocking this now. I'm done with this pattern. This is no more. And even just in the last couple of days, something has come up even louder. And I was like, okay, I know this is some pushback from a pattern that I said I was no longer available for. And the timing couldn't, and I realized yesterday, the timing couldn't be better. Not just for the death of the 30s as we enter our 40s era, but because of what I know is on the horizon. In my personal life, because my oldest son is getting ready to finish his junior year, like I'm going to have a senior, you guys. That's crazy. And also what I see on the horizon for our company and where it's going and quantum illumination and where we're taking it and the things that we have planned for this year too. And so the identity that I'm stepping into is it's a decision every day. If you take away something from this, it is a decision. It is a decision to step outside of your comfort zone. Someone said something a couple weeks ago. It was like, people think that they're actually making big, scary leaps, but they're actually not. You might be thinking about it, but you're not doing it. And I was like, man, this year has been one scary leap after another, but there are definitely arenas that I could play bigger in. And like, where are you playing in a closet when you should be playing in a mother effing arena? Like, where is it that you are teetering in and out of the healer closet, but you're like, oh, but I want that. But that is going to require you to move, to make those scary leaps of faith, to invest in yourself, to invest in your future, to make decisions that are uncomfortable and take aligned, inspired action along the way. Like the feminine energy is that receiving energy, the creative energy, this idea that pops in your mind. You're like, oh, that would be really fun to do. And then the divine masculine is the move, is aligned action to take those leap of faith that feels uncomfortable. It's wild. So what patterns have you been noticing? And for those of you that are in quantum illumination, Reiki, you already know the patterns are coming through for you that steps into your awareness because it heals at a deep subconscious level that it will be in your awareness. And if you're not in our certification program, again, don't know what you're doing, like join us for our next round of level 1, because even as you're learning it, you will heal. You will heal because of the way that I teach is through fun, flow, play, and ease. I want you to heal as you're learning it because it's very experiential. And you'll be able to be such a stronger healer this way too. So where is it that you have decided what your future self, when I say identity, like your future self, like who is it that you desire to be? What is that? Have you gotten super clear on that? And how often are you allowing yourself to fall back into the same patterns? What old patterns are no longer serving you, and are you taking action to disrupt them? When I say taking action, sometimes it's not about doing anything. Sometimes it's about your mind. Sometimes it's about, nope, we're not playing that game. Because again, I'll say this again, most of you guys know what it is that had been coming up. most of you guys are aware of your patterns of some capacity, even if some of them are still a little bit unconscious, like you know what it is that you're no longer available for. So how can you step more into the identity of who it is that you desire to be and leaving those old patterns behind? So you can anchor more in your soul's truth, which PS, we are doing this at deep levels at our Embody retreat. So if you are not signed up, we have 2 spots available. Like, you need to be at this retreat. Deep embodiment. Yes, in-person facilitation of quantum illumination. Yes, 100% we're doing this. This is about coming home to you. This is about coming home to your soul essence, who you are, it is, and what it is that you are here to do in this lifetime. And it starts with awareness. And the next step, did you guys see that? There was an orb that just flew over my head. And it also is about disrupting those patterns and making a decision on you're no longer going to entertain that shit anymore. And I know when you guys leave Tulum, you will not be the same. From start to finish, you will not go home the same person. And so, what's your identity? What patterns have you been noticing? And what are you doing to take aligned action toward disrupting them and anchor more into your truth? And here's the thing, like, there's nothing else you have to do to be closer home to you, but the more aware you are, as you ascend, let me say this, as you ascend, you come closer home to you. You come closer home to your essence. You come closer to joy, play, free. Like for me, the 2 main core feelings that I desire to feel are joy and free. And it's like, oh, I felt that joy as I said it. I'm like, yes. And so, in each thing that I do, I'm intentional about infusing that into it. I'm intentional about the identity that I desire to be in. I'm intentional about clocking those patterns that I'm like, nope. I said I'm not going to do this. The whole scrolling thing has got to stop. This was something that was a big one for me. And this was something I'd been working on when I came back from Tulum. It stopped quite a bit. And then when I came back from the in-person event in the beginning of April in Austin, Texas, I just had a visceral response. Even now, I'm still a month, almost 2 months from that event. I'm still meh. Sometimes I get on and scroll. Sometimes I slip into that pattern, but it's mostly I have things to do. You actually have so much time, by the way. Okay. So the final thing that of the death of my 30s and what I'm experiencing is kind of circles back to the second one, to the boundaries unlock and the people pleasing is a nope. And that is this. I love you, but bye. It is a decision to walk away from who and what is no longer serving me. I love you, but bye. And I just recently made a decision on that with someone or something. And it could be a someone or it could be a something. And what I'm not talking about, and if you have not listened to my previous Sacred Whisper podcast episode where I'm talking about as you ascend, sometimes people will fall away and sometimes they will rise to meet you. And that's okay. Either of them is okay. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about here. This is a firm decision. I love you, but bye. And giving yourself permission to soar. And I really feel those are the main things that I've really learned in my 30s. And the things that I am not, I've been thinking about too, the things that are not coming with me into my next era. And everything that I talked about is absolutely part of this. So let me know what resonated the most. And I also want to share with you guys that starting next week, like we'll just pop this off right now, but like starting next week through the 31st of May is we are doing the funeral and incineration. If you guys have seen this in my story, it's been doing a countdown. This countdown was PS to my birthday, but I didn't say that to anyone. But truly, my if you guys have seen like the black balloons and the leather, I haven't showed you the Jeep yet, but my husband and I did a Death to Your 30s photo shoot, and holy shit, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. He just did it directly from my phone because I didn't have time to. It was such a last minute decision. I was like, I'm going to get balloons. I'm going to get black cupcakes, black candles. I got Prosecco. I think it was Prosecco. And I wanted to pop the cork, but oh my God, it was so funny. Let me tell you the story before I share with you how we're celebrating this. Thank you. And I grabbed the bottle of Prosecco, and I had already kind of taken the top off, but the cork was still in. And I had it, thankfully, I had it like this, like at the, like kind of at a diagonal. And I was walking away from my husband, and Matt was like to go get like in camera view. And he was like, it would be really funny if that popped out, and I said that. And like literally 2 seconds later, the cork popped out of nowhere, and I let out a blood curdling scream as it scared the shit out of me. Prosecco was going everywhere. Matt immediately hit record. We're both dying laughing. It was so great. And I've never shaken up like champagne or anything like super bubbly. I don't know why. I think that might be more of a boy thing. My kids have done it, like whatever. But oops, sorry. If you're watching live, it just totally kicked that. But it does not take much to shake up Prosecco and for it to go everywhere, which was also hilarious. So I'm trying to be serious, but I am dying laughing. So the videos it was so much fun. There's like Prosecco everywhere. So anyway, that was a blast. You guys can go check out my Instagram. I've got a couple of those. I'll be sharing a little bit more this week too, and in my stories too. So if you join our certification program, and we'll remember to wish you happy birthday tomorrow. It's kind of considered bad luck to wish early happy birthday here. Oh my gosh, I love that. That's amazing that like you guys have like different cultures. I think it's really cool. So if you join our certification program before the 31st, we're going to do 3 bonus audios to deepen your experience in the certification related to this conversation on death, like the death of and incineration. So the first one is death of giving your power away to others and people pleasing. The second is incinerating doubt and quantum leaping self-trust. And the third is a rise into your soul essence and personal power as a quantum illumination Reiki Master Healer. So those 3 audios will be dropped. They'll be via private podcast feed. So you can just pop it in and listen. For those of you that are in our certification program, you're going to get access to those because you're my founders and I love you. And so you guys will get access to them as well once they are done. But those are bonus audios, and this will really go hand in hand. I feel like there's a gap in the healing community, and especially when it comes to like certifications where it's like, cool, I got this cool certification. Now what do I do with it? And I'm scared as fuck to get it out into the world. And I never want this to be something that people will put on the shelves and let it get dusty. I want you to be able to use this, whether it's, my hands are vibrating as I'm talking about this, by the way, which is normal in quantum illumination Reiki, by the way. Yes. So I want you guys to, whether it's you're creating a business, you're offering sessions, you're integrating into your work currently, or you are integrating into your day-to-day life, I want you to be able to utilize it in alignment for you. I want you to feel confident with it. I want you to feel like comfortable with it. I want you to feel supported. I want you to feel more in your power and trusting of you. And so that was the intention behind these 3 audios, is to really help you create, like release what's not serving you in alignment for your future self, who is a powerful healer. You are a powerful healer. And then if you decide to join our certification and the retreat before the 31st, I mean, obviously you're going to get to come to Tulum. We'll spend the 10th through the 14th together in a literal spiritual vortex. You might have heard me talk about this before, but since I've come back from Tulum like in January, my psychic gifts have been insane. Like I'm always intentional about using my gifts always. I'm using them all the time. And when you're working with quantum illumination, you're continuously ascending. So even though I channeled it and I've been using it for almost 4 years now, it continuously gives you upgrades as the healer or as your client is ready for them. So they're always going to be getting those frequency upgrades, period. However, I was like, what is this actually about? There's a tie. There's 100% a tie. So yes, you're going to get the audios, and we're also going to do a bonus healing session for those inside of the retreat. This is true for those of you who are already committed as well. And then we're going to do a funeral call. So everyone on that call, and this will be in conjunction with our retreat, like before we go to the retreat. So every woman will get a hot seat, a chance to come up and share what it is that you're no longer going to be embodying, like what it is that you are ready to let go of, to incinerate, that's no longer in alignment with your future self-embodiment. So we're going to have a funeral, so to speak, and I will help you shift before we even get to Tulum. And then the incineration, Christiane, hi! And then incineration, quantum illumination, Reiki, where we're going to be burning away what's no longer serving you and activate in your personal power while accessing your higher self through your 11th chakra, which is where you access your higher self, in case you didn't know that. And so, yeah, Christiane is one of the ladies coming to Tulum. Oh my God. Seriously, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So the theme is embodiment, in-person facilitation of quantum illumination Reiki. And what I see for you is that you, like, as you're leaving the weekend, you're remembering the laughs by the pool. You're remembering the tears of relief and healing. You are feeling higher frequency from not just being in a spiritual vortex, because yes, you will, but also from the connection of the women that are there, the connection of the land through the activities that we're doing. You're seeing yourself from a completely different light, which P.S. we have a powerful photographer that will capture that experience as well. So you'll be able to reflect back onto that. You're feeling nourished from being taken care of all weekend. We're not cooking. We have a private chef, P.S. And the relaxation as well, the deep healing that comes from the ocean. And as you step foot onto the plane going home, what I'm seeing is that you notice that you are no longer the same. You are no longer the same. You are in the embodiment of her. You are in the integration, or you have already integrated her, and you are in your power. And the connections that you'll create there are lifelong. I still talk to the women that we were all in Tulum as well. Also, the tears from hugging in real life. What? When I remember walking up to the villa in Tulum when I got there and meeting my coach in person for the first time, and we both just burst into tears. And I'm sure my driver was like, okay, so I'm going to go. And she's like, you're so tall. I'm like, you're so fun size. Because I'm 5'7". So P.S. I'm 5'7". And she is short. So if you want to join the retreat, you've been thinking about it, because I know so many of you have been thinking about it. We only have 2 spots remaining. And so DM me, we'll do the funeral. You'll get the funeral call, the incineration, quantum illumination, and you'll get the bonus audios too. And I'm so excited. So come into my DMs. Let me know if you want in either one of those. And also and let me know how this resonated too. And I hope you guys have the most amazing rest of your day. This was so much fun to do. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.